Hello. So weekly commentary 25th of March, last week of the month and obviously the quarter as well. Um, Today I want to take a slightly different approach to my analysis by focusing mostly on the DXY. Looking at, Kyle. I always like to see what things is it because Ice-T is ocean and I always want to have the best basically for my strategy, right? Sometimes because you've been doing it for a long time, you think, oh, I've been doing it for a long time, must be doing the right thing. Because you haven't visited those terms and those concepts for some time now, you can miss out some obvious things basically. So I was looking at that Jade Caps, his focus like mostly on the dollar, which makes sense because the dollar is moving this, okay? This is not moving the dollar, okay? This is responding to what the dollar is doing because it's the dominant currency. Obviously, how long that stays is obviously yet to be seen. But right now, because it's the dominant one, this is going to cause this to move, okay? So this goes up, obviously, this goes down, and then obviously tit for tat kind of effect on all the other currencies as well. So if I just focus, and this is what I want to do from now on, my main focus will always be on the dollars, the majority of the levels, the relevant ones. I'm not going to make the chart disgusting with a lot of irrelevant things. But the key levels, the higher time frame levels that we look at for the narrative and the bias on the daily are actually going to be derived from the DXY now, okay? So that's what I want to do moving forward, okay? Yes, I still look at the euro. Obviously I trade euro, but, the analysis starts here. This is where the bulk of the analysis is done. So, moving forward, okay? Now, I was actually thinking risk on, okay? DXY lower, everything else higher, right? That was correct until we had that big news announcement, and that always causes an upset, okay? That always either shows you you're on side or shows you're offside. In this case, I was offside, which is fine. I was okay to mitigate. You had your manipulation here, okay? The weekly manipulation here, and I was actually looking at this as the weekly manipulation, and this is the distribution lower to take us below into the gaps. This one and this low maybe. This is what I was anticipating originally. Until we had this, okay? Until we had the shift bullish on Friday, which shows me now to go lower. Look how many things we got to go through. You got the breaker, you got the order block here, the daily. You also got the inversion here. So you got three real strong levels that the dollar we're gonna have to go against. Ice-T tells us price will always take the path of least resistance, and the path of least resistance at the moment is actually the previous weekly high as the weekly draw. Why? Because there isn't many things stopping it. Yeah, you have the consequence encroachments, but they're more so, they're going to work if the narrative is there. Narrative is saying dollar higher at the moment, as you've seen before on the weekly chart as well. Yeah, I do have the monthly levels drawn there. They give us a good idea as well. We're just expect price to slow down and that kind of thing. But I think the weekly provides you a good image as well. You want to see this as a support, although price for it to come this much lower, I mean, it's like, it's not impossible, but it's just unlikely. If it's really bullish, it's not going to want to do that before it hits this. So we're going to be risk off now. So short on Euro, USD, GBP, should I trade that? I probably won't. I want to focus on one thing. Quality over quantity. And yes, you can absolutely destroy it past challenges and do whatever they are doing it, okay? You just have to slightly adjust your plan, okay? Yes, less trades. You keep thinking, oh, less trades, how the fuck am I gonna pass the challenge? You need a lot of trades. No, you don't. You don't need that. If you're doing high probability trades and that's a habit of yours and now you've settled into it, like I'm trying to. I used to trade every day, now I don't. I can withstand the temptation. Likewise, some weeks you may not be able to trade if you're trying to establish a bias on the higher time frame. And guess what? You then adjust the risk. That's all you do. Okay, you can then afford to risk more because why? Because you're only taking high probability. Obviously, you still lose, but in the long run, overall you're profitable, and you can use that to easily win any challenge. So it's just all about perspective. Nothing is impossible. It's all here in the mind, the limits. Going back to the charts. This might provide a little intraday slowdown, retracement, but should obviously this is not something where I would expect it to kind of completely reverse, you know. Watch out for the inversion level so far. That's acting as a resistance. Now, if I just go on a 4-hour time frame as well, the daily breaker here, you know, can act as a strong resistance. Sorry, as a support, I mean. This candle here is your order block on the daily. But if I just go on a lower time frame, I think a more appropriate order block that I'd be probably interested in it is this 4H. And then obviously if I just refine it further, this was actually a drawn liquidity I was looking at for Friday's trade, which we never got, but we can this week. Obviously, because the first part of the week is all about the accumulation and the manipulation. If I go on the chart, the economic calendar, you can see, you know, Monday, just one part of news, not much. Tuesday is quiet as well, just durable goods, which isn't that volatile. Wednesday is just completely quiet, and then Thursday the action starts a little bit with these sales numbers, and then Friday again you have the, you know, some news coming out as well that can cause movement. So news-wise, it's actually kind of calm, but still those news events are likely to be used for the manipulation slash the distribution, both on the daily and the weekly time frames. Now, this is what our scenario is. You know, we come down counterparty, so we're kind of longing everything for the euro until we get to the order block, and this 1-hour order block, fair value gap, you know, again, for us to be really bullish on the dollar, I want to see it stay in the premium part of the breaker, not go below that. That to me will be really bullish, okay? So ideally, these are going to be draws for intraday longs taken. You don't want to hold them beyond this point, okay? You're going to take profit on euro buy trades in this area. And obviously then you would expect it to expand higher after the accumulation phase is done. Now what I'm thinking is today, quiet, so probably just like to just consolidate. Yeah, Tuesday you do have some news. I'm thinking of the manipulation either on Tuesday or Wednesday. We don't know that yet, okay? We have to wait and see for that. But the manipulation happens, and then we can start to distribute higher from Thursday onwards. If you haven't already started distributing before Thursday, that is. And then, of course, this is your target. And if you just go on the euro chart now, because we've done the most of the bulk of the work is already done on the dollar. This is just mirror image of that. So if that pans out, where it finds support in the premium part of the breaker, which is, let's see, so 1, 2, so this will technically be the breaker here on this, to be honest. Already inside of that, not as weak actually. So yeah, what you would expect is, sorry, what I was saying is, this fair value gap, you have this order block here as well. I just go on a 4-hour and a 1-hour just to match up with the DXY. So if I'm thinking 4-hour here, then corresponding to that would be obviously this 4-hour order block. So yes, we can go all the way up there, okay, if you want to. We absolutely can. This fair value gap here as well. This is obviously for your weekly manipulation phase, where it's going to go opposite to where it's expected to go in the long run. So that's higher, I think. But if I just quickly zoom out one more time and show you, this is the weekly draw. If this is a weekly draw, then that's here. Okay, for the euro so far, because we haven't come down as much as we've gone up on the dollar. I think it's this previous monthly low here is our draw. You have a 1 hour fair value gap there waiting as well. BISI. So that's your draw for the week, I think. Obviously, for me to be convinced that this is going to happen, I do not want to see this penetrated before when distribution normally starts, which is Wednesday, Thursday normally. Okay, I want this level to stay intact before. I'm just gonna quickly label this and we should be good then. And I'll just quickly review the pound, sorry. Again, if I'm saying this is going to go up, then, you know, this will probably be the target to look at on the pound dollar. This, well, previous weekly low first, and then maybe this we can work towards. But yeah, that's all there is to it. Let's, I want to trade, well, I don't want to just trade for nothing, basically. I want to trade normally the manipulation sometimes if I see there's a good opportunity, there's a drawn liquidity that we can take advantage of. But after manipulation has happened and then distribution is about to start and it's in the direction I've already analyzed, then it's high probability for me to take that. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to limit the trades and I'm just going to keep them to high probability, inshallah.